This is Loveland Beacon Talks. I'm your host, Chuck Gibson. Today our featured guest is Stephanie Quehl. She's co-founder, along with her husband Tom Quehl, of the Jack Quehl Foundation, named for their son Jack, who passed away from fentanyl poisoning at the too young age of 24 years old. As a result of his death, the Quehls have made it their mission, the mission of the Jack Quehl Foundation, to raise awareness of the threat of fentanyl poisoning. For the next several days, from Wednesday, June 14th through Sunday, June 18th, Loveland businesses are hosting a Do It for Jack series of events to help spread his story and the dangers of fentanyl. Now, it is my pleasure to say hello to Stephanie Quehl, joining us on Loveland Beacon Talks. I'm going to say, welcome, Stephanie. And it's Stephanie Young Quehl. Am I saying the last name right?
Yes, you are.
And do you want me to just say Stephanie Quehl or Stephanie Young?
You can say Stephanie Quehl, that's fine.
Okay, well, Stephanie...
I grew up in the area, but it's fine.
Well, Stephanie, listen, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. And what I want to start with is people like myself, I don't really know the full story. So give me your quick thumbnail sketch for me and the people who are going to hear this on Jack. Let's start with that. What happened?
Okay, so what happened was we were completely blindsided. Jack, obviously, do you want me to go back in time, like he grew up here, blah, 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 or what happened?
Well, I mean, he grew up here is good. We want to know that. And thank you for saying so. But then, so what happened, which leads us to the Jack Quehl Foundation?
Foundation, okay.
Let's go from there.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened, and you can tell me to backtrack if you want. But
sure.
Basically, after going to high school and college, Jack was graduated during COVID and was living here because of having to come home to quarantine like everybody did in May of 20 or March of 20, and ended up being here for over a year, which is a blessing now that he's gone. But got a job at Hex Corporation in Baltimore and worked remotely here until he could find a place to live. Fast forward to July of 21, he found some roommates and packed, kind of gives you his personality, packed his own U-Haul and drove himself to Baltimore.
Wow. And
Tom and I, were sad to see him go, but it was time. We were happy and sad. 2 months later, that May of 21, his brother Tyler graduated from the University of South Carolina. They both went there. Mm-hmm. And so we went down for that graduation, and Jack, we kind of kidded him that was his graduation since he missed his due to COVID. And Tyler got a job in Philadelphia. They're both in a program called Venture for America. And I kind of equate it to like Teachers for America, but this is entrepreneurial business startups, and they match these candidates with startup companies and teach them all facets of business. He was an international business major. He did a program where he went to Germany a semester, Singapore junior year, and then Brazil his senior year, and traveled probably 17 countries in that 3 years or 3 semesters with all these fellow kids in the program. The students from those countries, and including South Carolina,
sure,
all stayed together for those 3 years. Like, it was the same group of kids, which was very enlightening and interesting because I've talked to them all, obviously, since Jack has passed. They've reached out to me. So anyway, gets a job through Ventures for America in Baltimore at the Hex Corporation and leaves. So fast forward to now September of 21, Labor Day, we decided to move Tyler up. That's the difference in kids, by the way. So instead of sending him off, we all got in the car. Tom drove the U-Haul, and Adam was in 8th grade, so we had him come, which I'm so thankful because that was the last time we saw Jack. But we went to Philly. Jack took the train over to Philly from Baltimore, helped us move Tyler. And then we got in the car and went to Baltimore to see where Jack was living, because since he had moved himself, we never saw where he lived. Showed us his office, super excited, met his friends, showed us his town, went out a couple days, and that was the last time we saw Jack alive. which we had no idea. So I was working at the St. Columbin Festival, and my phone rang. It was right after I was done with my shift, and thank God I looked down, which I know you know this, but in case you don't, but I taught there for 18 years and was working the teacher booth. And the cell phone was from Bala Kenwood, Philadelphia. Well, that's where Tyler lived. And so I answered it, and thank God I did. It was Jack's friend, Aaron, who was a fraternity brother who also lived in Baltimore, who was his friend, called to tell me that Jack, all he kept saying was, "I'm so sorry," and I could barely get out what had happened, but he had said that Jack, I don't even know what he said, but that he still had a heartbeat. That's all I knew. And so I got in the car and got Tom, and we just started driving like maniacs to Baltimore.
Yeah.
I think this foundation, well, I might be jumping ahead, but I knew nothing about fentanyl. So driving in hope was a blessing, because I thought, oh, my kid's going to be fine. He has a heartbeat. His friend Chris, who was also a South Carolina fraternity brother, was already dead. So they found the two of them together, but it had been like 14 hours. I think they were, the timeline's hard, but say it was 1 or 2 a.m. They were not found till the next day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because they were up on Jack's rooftop deck, having a final beer or whatever they were doing, and did some cocaine, and it was laced with fentanyl.
Yeah.
So where we were blindsided, and kind of the mission of the foundation was, Jack was not that kid, and I didn't realize how prevalent recreational drug use was with that age group or young professionals. Every child we spoke to, and I say child, I mean 25-year-old, 24-year-old, however they were, every kid that grew up around here that went to high school, they all had tried. They saw it every time they went out. Bachelor parties, office parties. They saw it in college, but I'm talking beyond college. You're like, what? And these are, smart people. And nowadays, which we didn't know, it's with this lacing, you can't even dabble anymore. And I guess that's our main focus, is to educate, because there are foundations on addiction and recovery and that. And his story is, a kid that had everything going for him, who said yes one night and then didn't wake up.
I do recall at the festival time from when it happened, when the whole thing started for you at the St. Columbin Festival, and as a parishioner and somebody who's at the festival, I recall that. But again, even myself, Stephanie, I did not know the whole story. So, sorry to take you back through that, but thank you. And obviously you're going through that over and over again, which leads us to where, kind of where you are today, because obviously, as you said, you say yes once, you can't do that. Because of this, these drugs being laced with fentanyl, you can't say yes one time. Jack did. He's gone. And so that leads us to today and your foundation and what you're trying to do. And especially, I'm talking to you right now, and I'm going to publish, we're going to publish this on Loveland Beacon. So the people are going to hear you tell this story. And I know it's a huge week. I mean, this is Monday, I think the 12th. I got to do my dates. But this is Monday, the 12th of June. And I know on Wednesday, the 14th, you guys are going to drop into full gear Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So tell us about, real quick thumbnail.
Oh, my goodness.
What's the foundation? What's the purpose of the foundation? And then if you can say what's going on. Yeah.
Yes, and I think it'll evolve over the years, but my main push with the foundation and the board was awareness. And I wanted, no matter where you went in Loveland this weekend, that you would see us somewhere. And then you say, okay, what is that? And like you said, we don't know. And then you would hit our website and learn more and then reach out. So I kind of started, knocking on doors in March or whatever. Every single business was so right away a yes to us, like immediately, what can we do? And as I talked to them, they had all been affected somehow. And I think something to be said about all this is, I think people aren't talking because of the stigma behind you feel bad as a parent, or where do we fail, or we live in this great community, or how do we go wrong, or whatever. And Tom and I weren't going to do that. I was like, we have got to save somebody else's life. So our main mission is to raise awareness and to educate. Well, at first it was, we're going to go into the school and educate. Well, and as this kind of just, we haven't even been a year under our belt. This year, all of a sudden, we were at a networking event, and then it was a parent group wanted us to talk, and then a grade school, not just the high schools. And I think we're coming to where they're not too young, because it takes one choice. And I know, like right now, 6 out of 10 fake pills, street pills, are laced. And so these kids are just trying things to feel better, and they think they're taking a Xanax or a Percocet or an Adderall, and they cannot do that unless it is prescribed by their doctor, not even trusting, oh, no, it's fine, it's my friend's doctor. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's where we're trying to reach these. Then parents need to be educated, because everyone we talked to was like me. I thought, oh, he has a heartbeat, he'll be fine. Fentanyl fries you. There is no chance. You know what I mean? I didn't know that, right?
Right.
There's not a chance. And I had no idea.
Wow.
So I think it's just, that's where we kind of like, okay, we have to figure this out. So the weekend last year was a thank you at Cindy's, and of course then I had to take it down to the whole town.
So that's what's coming up this weekend, is you've brought it to the whole community of Loveland.
That's right. So Fleet Feet always spotlights a nonprofit every Wednesday. I just happened to snag Wednesday, so that's Wednesday down at Fleet Feet. Don't need to register. I guess they have runners come every Wednesday at this time, or walkers. And then Thursday, Tano was generous to do a dine to donate. That just worked out that nothing was going on that day, so like, all right, let's do that one. Friday, hops and berries. Everyone's been generous. I think like next year I'll have to change locations, because we just have so many great businesses down here. We're going to, I know, right? So we're just meeting there, pass out shirts. You can pick up shirts, or people that have registered can come get their items, or you can sign up, just raising awareness. And then Saturday morning we're doing yoga at the back porch of Rhodey. Same thing. I teach yoga. It's Simply Power Yoga, and Heidi Frick, the owner, is like, hey, let's do this. And I was like, that's perfect, because it's also community. Anyone can do it. It's kind of like the walk. Anyone can do it. And then the party at Cindy's is 3 to 6. And that was kind of like, Jack loved that place, just like all these young kids do. He was not a fancy kid. So he loves Cindy's. So we're doing that. Then we're sending them down to BQ, because my godson happens to be playing live music there. And so that's kind of where we ended up. But now I just contacted the works. I'm like, hey, can we get pizza now after the race? I'm like, okay, how do we connect all these people? Trying to get people to go everywhere instead of just making videos and trying to blast out what I can.
Perfect. So, well, and real quick, Stephanie, so what is the website? Because at the end, like you said, to raise the awareness, these people come to this event and they're like, okay, wait, now where do I go to learn more? So what's that website?
That's exactly right. And honestly, and that's the thing, we want people to reach out to us to get involved, or to get us to come speak or whatever. But the main site is www.doitforjack.org.
So www.doitforjack.org. I'm just repeating that so everybody will catch that very clearly. Yes. And there they can learn, a great deal more and become much more aware of what a true threat fentanyl is, and what one bad choice can mean in terms of end of life.
Well, and the story, and then, from there. And I think if you click on the /events, will take you to the event page, but it's scrolling across the top. But yes, we are literally just trying to get to anyone we can, because it's back to that not my kid. And I just heard a campaign the ad council's doing is like, just say no, A-N-O-W. That's brilliant. We're not stopping it. It's this crisis is coming through the border like, 100% all the time right now. So it's not stopping. So we have to educate.
Very good. Well, so to repeat your message, what you're trying to build awareness. So how would you say that in your message is as you're educating about fentanyl? What is your message?
Okay. So our message is for everyone to learn what they can about fentanyl and to speak to their children, their young adults, their teenagers, college, anybody about the dangers of fentanyl. It is the leading killer in the United States right now, 18 to 45.
Wow.
And 200 people are dying every day, and we're just not hearing it in the news like we should. So I think our message and our goal, like I keep saying, is to shout from the rooftops, raise the awareness, save as many lives as we can by talking to these kids. And being a teacher, like, I see us and all that, but times are different. Like we said earlier in the conversation, you can't be doing the social uses that you could do back in the day. It's just too dangerous at this point. And so the Do It for Jack came from Tom standing up at the funeral. It wasn't planned. He just looked out at the audience and he's like, there's an elephant in the room. You know how Jack died and we know how Jack died. And when you go to make a decision, then if you can't do it for yourself, then do it for Jack. And that's where that tagline came from. Like, it's a life-saving choice at this point that you have to say that you're going to not do this. And if you can't do it for Jack.
Stephanie, listen, thank you so much for taking the time to, share the story and share that powerful message. And I know you got a ton of things going on even right now as we speak. So,
I know, I feel so bad. Yeah, I'm driving in the car now to the whippy dip. But, I think it's part of my grieving process is to stay busy. And I feel like, some people would not get out of bed every day, but you just feel like, gosh, I don't want to see this happening to anybody else. And with the statistics that we have, I know it's going to happen. I just am trying to stop what I can.
Well, keep getting out of bed. If nothing else, I'm going to steal your line. If nothing else, do it for Jack. But hey, thank you for taking the time today, and I wish you the very best all weekend long. I mean, a lot happening and a lot of opportunity for people to learn, and you just have to know that you're reaching, even if one person. You have to be knowing that's
yes.
Even if you just reach one person. I'm sure you know
yes.
that. So
yes, and that's what keeps us going is when we get messages from people. We have people contacting and emailing. I actually had one today where the girl said, my sister is embarrassed and she won't talk to people or whatever, and I think can she come speak with you guys? And I was like, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Because you got to get past. I feel like here's another thing I say: fentanyl has no boundaries. So it doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter how old you are, race, color, background, money. It does not. School does not matter. There's no boundaries. And I think another thing that some people don't understand is they're not trying to kill you. They're trying to get kids addicted because fentanyl is highly addictive, and this is illicit fentanyl, that they're just making in Mexico and God knows where, and they don't know what they're doing. And so 2 pieces of salt, 2 grains of fentanyl will kill you. So you can imagine mixing that in a bag of cocaine or in pills. They're just trying to get people addicted. So when it's cut right, they're just wanting you to keep purchasing more. So they're not out to kill. They're out to get our youth addicted, and that's very scary too.
It is very scary, and thank you for going out and spreading the word. Keep spreading the word. Again, best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Spreading the word and just growing. Obviously, it's grown tremendously, as you've seen. It's amazing. And so, folks, that who are listening to this right now, Stephanie Quehl, Do It For Jack Foundation, www.doitforjack.org. All one word, Do It For Jack. Check it out,
yes.
And get out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday here in Loveland, and get face to face and learn a little bit more. And again, Stephanie, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. We so appreciate you having us on. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, Stephanie.
All right. Thanks, Chuck.